On the United States border, Donald Trump cannot change the blame. The Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy tods the unlawful crossing of America's southern border was formalized early last month. Anyone crossing the border illicitly is to be arrested and prosecuted, and so their children will be separated from them. As Attorney General Jeff Sessions put it, if you are smuggling a child, then we will prosecute you and that child will be separated from you. If you don't like that, then don't smuggle children over our border. As a result, about 2,000 children have been separated from their parents and placed in foster homes or makeshift detention centers. New centers, tent cities, really, are planned to house still more children. The length of the separations, and what contact will be allowed between parents and children, remain unclear. There may be Americans who can look squarely at this policy without turning away in shame, but they appear to remain in the minority. One piece of evidence for this is that even President Donald Trump, for whom the criminality of illegal immigrants was a campaign staple, has found it necessary to twist the truth, persistently and blatantly, about his own policies in this area. He has asserted that it is his Democratic opponent's policy that forces the breakup of the families. "I hate the children being taken away," he said last week. "The Democrats have to change their law, that's their law." The U.S. government settlement of a class action lawsuit, reached in 1997, requires that immigration authorities detain children for brief periods only. If parents are held indefinitely, therefore, children must be separated from them. But no law requires the criminal prosecution of every unlawful border crossing. Previous administrations have made different choices. Several members of administration have said explicitly what Mr. Sessions only dared imply, that the policy is meant as a deterrent to would-be border crossers. They believe, in other words, that it is acceptable to deter criminal activity by making counter-threats against the well-being of innocent children. Might some immigrants, desperate to cross the border, bring children with them as, to speak figuratively, human shields, hoping that the presence of minors will protect them from arrest? This is conceivable, but even then the innocence of the children would remain a stubborn fact. Either it is acceptable for the U.S. government to use children as leverage to further its policy goals, or it is not. Mr. Trump and his inner circle have suggested that the separation of families at the border might be stopped if Congress acted on new immigration laws. But neither of the bills currently before Congress address the issue directly. And even if they did, the moral proposition would be the same. Mr. Trump is using children for political leverage. Former First Lady Laura Bush has written that the child detention centers are eerily reminiscent of the Japanese-American internment camps of the Second World. Defenders of the president will argue that the terrible thing about those camps was that they contained American citizens, not citizens of Guatemala, Honduras or Mexico. But Mrs. Bush's point is not about citizenship at all. It is that intentionally targeting the innocent, even in the service of a larger good, is beneath a great nation. Mr. Trump's attempt to avoid responsibility for his policies may be a political success, for now. His base is remarkably loyal. History, however, is not quick to forgive betrayals of fundamental American values.